Okay, so in today's video, I'm going to talk about the 5 lessons that I learned after spending 1 month in Vietnam. So let's get right into it. The first one is it's extremely affordable. As you probably know, Vietnam is one of the most affordable countries in Southeast Asia. Now, I stayed at a hotel for the month. I paid $370 basically for the month. I paid a little bit less because I stayed for 25 days. It was a nice hotel. It was clean. You know, the average person watching this would definitely stay there, especially for $370 a month. Now, on the flip side of that, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a coincidence. Maybe just right now tourism's coming back and the economy's coming back in Saigon. But for the first month, it was $370, which is about 8.7 million Vietnamese dong. For the second month, they wanted 14. So still a good deal, right? Like $700-800. Still, it was like double. So I talked to another gentleman where the same thing, they did the same thing at his hotel. So I don't know if it's just kind of a Vietnamese thing. They do a bait and switch, or that's just what they do. But affordability is a definite thing. You can, take Grab scooters for like $1, a few kilometers, and in Saigon, a few kilometers goes a long way. And also, things just seem to be a little bit more affordable there. It's not in the big city there. It's just not as expensive. I don't know how to describe it. In Manila, it was a little bit more pricey. And someone told me, well, Manila is more of an international financial destination. And I said, well, that makes sense. So maybe that has something to do with it. But Ho Chi Minh City, regardless, is a massive city. It's like 8 or 10 million people there. So you would think it would be a little more expensive. And some parts are, don't get me wrong, it's expensive. But it's overall, it's just cheaper. Vietnamese, I feel like in Chinese, they just know a good deal, and they do good deals. Second lesson I learned is traffic in Saigon is crazy. I mean, it's the sea. It's a sea of scooters. Unlike Manila, Indonesia, Jakarta had a lot of scooters. Manila, not so much. There was a lot, but a lot of cars. But in Saigon, it's primarily scooters. Everybody seems to have a scooter. There's not a lot of buses in the city. So traffic is insane. I mean, it's intense, honestly. I've driven in Manila on scooter. I've driven in Jakarta is crazy on scooter. Saigon is way more intense. It's like a free-for-all, I mean, honestly, I was joking with some people that I met there, and I said it's like everybody's driving like there's nobody else on the road. I mean, that's the best way to describe it. So it's really wild. So I took a lot of Grab motorbikes, which is like basically a motorbike taxi. It's very affordable. And honestly, I got comfortable with it. I was going around the city a lot, and honestly, towards the end of the month, I didn't even want to drive. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, I'd rather just take the scooter. They get in an accident, it's on them, and it's just more comfortable. But I think when I go back to Ho Chi Minh City, I'll probably rent a scooter. It's cheaper in the long run. Even though it's already pretty cheap, it's cheaper. So definitely get ready for some wild traffic. It's honestly kind of fun. Okay, so the third thing, I actually forgot this. I was getting interrupted so many times in the airport that I forgot to leave out this crucial part 3 of 5. The women in Vietnam, they're very conservative. They generally live at home until they get married. No matter what age they are, basically, if they're not married, they have to be home by like 10 to midnight, depending, on I guess how late their parents let them stay out. They don't really have a hookup culture there. They don't like go out on the first date and just, go home with you kind of thing. So I've noticed that it's nice. They're a lot more conservative there. Also, they're looking, I think overall there's a lot less girls. They don't want to just hook up with guys. They want at least a boyfriend. And a lot of them are looking for serious. Like they're dating, they're gonna date to marry somebody. So they don't really mess around with that. So that's the third thing that I learned. And I think it's a good thing. So if you're coming to Vietnam, there's definitely a lot of fun. You can do your shenanigans, but also, if you're looking for a good serious relationship, I think Vietnam would be a great place for you. I will say real quick too, it seems like a lot of girls are trying to learn English. A lot of them go on dates and stay on the dating site because they're trying to get English essentially. And I don't blame them. I mean, honestly, I would do that. If I was a Vietnamese girl, I would get all free English. I'd get an hour a day for free, and the guy's gonna buy the coffee. He's gonna buy the coffee or the tea, and it's free, so why not? So that's my third thing that I learned. The fourth thing is the efficiency of services and goods. Now, in one of my last videos, I was talking about how in Manila it's a little bit slower. In Saigon, it's the opposite. They're very fast, very efficient. I feel like there's a ton of services. Any way that Vietnamese people can make money, they do it, and they do it well, and they do it quickly, and they do it at a reasonable price. I feel like Vietnamese people, they just have a business sense about them. It's like that in America. All the Vietnamese people I've always known, they've always done really well. So it makes sense that they do well in the motherland also. I started teaching, so I needed some dress clothes. And I'm pretty damn heavy still. I think I'm like 105 kg right now, or 100 kg. So, Vietnamese people are very skinny. You're not gonna walk into the average shop. So I went into a big clothes shop. And real quick, it's funny because I saw the name of one of the stores on Google. It was Big Boy Too Big clothes shop. Like that, it was Big Boy Too Big. So funny, the name. So I went, they had big sizes. I'm pretty sure they made them themselves. It was a little pricey. I paid about $35, $38 for dress pants and black long sleeve dress shirt, but it's okay, I needed it. So definitely a lot of great services, even all throughout the city. Like I just saw random spots where, dudes have like shoe shines set up, shoe shine spots, tons of like shoe repair spots. I mean, anything you need done, like any kind of service, tons of laundry, obviously, dry cleaners, obviously. Very efficient, affordable. They mean business, and they want your business. So that's a major bonus about Saigon that I liked. Now the fifth thing that I learned, I already kind of knew this, but it was something that got set in concrete, is that there's a lot of teaching opportunity in Saigon. Now I went there knowing that I would be teaching, but there's a massive demand for English teachers there, especially people who are native speakers. Obviously it's your first language. Canada, America, South Africa, UK, Australia, all those countries. So there's a big emphasis on that, and it's very easy to get a job, especially if you present yourself well. So there's a huge market for that. There's tons of people who work there full time, and honestly, it's pretty dang good pay. I mean, it's shocking, especially comparatively to the cost of living. So you can definitely find full-time work there. The only thing is you need a TEFL or a TESOL certificate. TEFL means teaching English as a foreign language. I got that. Technically, you also need a degree. I've heard of some people that get around that, but by the government standard, you also need a degree. So there's definitely a bunch of full-time opportunity there where you can make, at least $1,300-$1,400 a month plus, and that's like essentially working part-time as a full-time job, right? And then you could double up. You could have two of those, or you could fill it. You could do supplemental type work. And also, if let's say you're retiring, or maybe you're just gonna hang out there and you want to pass by time, you can easily pick up some part-time work. And if you're legitimately good at English, or you think you could be a good teacher, you could market yourself. You could have your own schedule. You could essentially get your own students or clients, and have a nice little schedule set up for yourself. And definitely be making at least $18-$20 an hour. So. And that would be great to pass the time and, make some income. That's another major thing about Saigon that I liked. So overall, I gotta say, after my first month, I loved it. I really did. I really started to fall in love with Ho Chi Minh City. I was kind of hesitant before I came. I had been there once before in 2019, only for a week, kind of passing through type deal. And I liked it, but I didn't experience it like I did this last month. And Ho Chi Minh City is really a really charming city. It's so bustling, so vibrant, so much business, so much growth, and just so much excitement there. And I really had a nice time. I'm actually heading to Phuket right now, and I'm gonna do a visa run. I'll be in Phuket for a few days, and then I'm heading back to Ho Chi Minh City. So for those of you who maybe are going to come to Southeast Asia, or you're thinking about moving over here, I definitely recommend coming to Vietnam. If it's not on your list, definitely you got to put it on your list. It's definitely not one of the most popular spots because there's a lack of English, right? Whereas Philippines is prominent, and Thailand was just already established. But in my personal opinion, I think Vietnam's up and coming. I mean, it's like one of the last developed countries in this region that is efficient, good infrastructure, cheap cost of living. I will say, in the city centers and in the D1, people speak enough English, and a lot of the businesses have English. Like on the menus, a lot of the coffee shops, they have English as well. Also, a lot of the kids right now, they're learning English. Their English is getting better and better. So these next generations that are upcoming, there's gonna be a lot more fluent English speaking. So I think it's just the Vietnamese are especially shy to speak English as well. Because a lot of my interactions, they spoke enough English. Their English was pretty good. They're just very shy.